Hello everybody, Steve here. I thought I might take this opportunity to showcase my army of Germans for for the tabletop war game known as Bolt Action. I started this project around about March of last year, and I'm quite presently both surprised and happy that it came out quite well. Of course, there's a few odds and ends that need to be addressed in terms of like these two here having their transfers been added onto them to give them unit markings and things of that nature. But otherwise, there's not much else to be done. I have two more units to be added into this at some point or other. A waffen-ss infantry squad and a fallschirjäger squad. Both 10-man apiece. But I will introduce those at a later date. Thus far, this force is primarily a air or infantry sort of force. So, right then, let's take a closer look and see what we have. First of all, using my painted pokey stick, we have a first lieutenant, his second, both armed with assault rifles. Higher command section, one being a major, the other being a captain. Just behind there is a field medic, also known as a sanitator. Forward observers, or could be also used as spotters for mortars and artillery pieces. We'll start off on this side. We have Assault Pioneer Squad, all armed primarily with submachine guns, a couple of Panzerfaust, a flamethrower or Flammenwerfer, and an MG42. All of this was like scratched built using the German Grenadier sprue, as the only one that Warlord does in terms of a Pioneer Squad are basically early war, on the kind of fact that my force that I'm putting together is a late war sort of variant. Hence the reason why there's a lot of Panzerfaust and assault rifles. Moving on, we have a veteran Grenadier squad, all armed with assault rifles, Panzerfaust, and a MG42, all with their lovely little camo ponchos. In the back here are, I forgot what they're called now, Volksgrenadiers, that's what they were. Basically inexperienced troops that have been given assault rifles for nothing, and a couple of Panzerfaust. I basically used the Warlord Games winter German uniform setup for them to give them these pretty cool looking greatcoats, and I think they came out alright, to be perfectly honest. Just behind there is some two MG42 teams, just to give that little bit of suppressive fire for those defensive games. We have a 20mm flak cannon, light auto cannon. And then further along from here we got two identical regular grenadier squads with NCO with a submachine gun, an MG42 and one or two Panzerfaust. Everyone else is armed with rifles. And the same for these chaps in the back. I just fielded them with the standard grey uniform, or greeny grey uniform that the Germans were known for at the later part of the war, as to distinguish them apart from my veteran squads. Yeah, makes it easier to tell the difference. We got then a Panzerschreck. So if I turn this little fella here, little Panzerschreck, and a sniper team with a spotter, two mortars, one medium mortar, 80mm, and one scratch-built 120mm heavy mortar. I put that together using the mortar team from an Imperial Guard heavy weapons team. Scale-wise is not too far off, if I have to be brutally honest. Right then, now to move on to vehicles. We got a Strummel, which is basically a half-track fitted with a 75mm medium howitzer, just to give that little infantry fire support. A Hanomag with two MG42s, one forward facing, one rear, and as I mentioned earlier, I have yet to get round to actually putting unit markings and the like on there. I've also fielded this with crew sitting in the back of it. A Puma, which is a armoured car, an 8-wheeled armoured car, fitted with a 50mm medium anti-tank gun. And then to the tanks element, we got an assault gun in the form of a Stungerschutz number 3, Outs D if I remember, with Schürzen, which are these armoured skirts, supposed to stop shape charge special rules on anti-tank weapons. A Jagdpanzer 38T, otherwise known as a Hetzer. Cute little tank destroyer. And then on the back then are finally, we have the Tiger 1, Outs H if I remember, Panzer 4, Outs H, also with Schürzen all the way around. And then to finish off we got a Panther Outs D. And that is pretty much everything. The only thing I got left to add then is the waffen-ss infantry squad that I got, and the fallschirjäger as well. That's currently sitting in my little box of shame. Points wise, we're looking roughly 2,500, maybe just a hair over 3,000, give or take. After that, there's not much really else I want to add to it, really. As a standing force, I think it's not looking too bad. Might need to get some more officers or something like that to allow me to use 2 different platoons. But otherwise, everything is as you see. This is Steve. See you all again.